This is his saxophone, actually. You know, yeah, he was very great friends with a lot of great musicians, and I had the pleasure to meet quite a few of them when I was a young man. When I used to travel with him, he used to drive some of these musicians to their gigs, and one of the guys was Sonny Rollins, who was one of his best friends at the time, and still remains a family friend. Played trumpet, but it wasn't a long-term thing because my brother played trumpet, and I did not want to play the same instrument as my brother. And then for a brief period of time, I played drums after that, and eventually I did switch to saxophone when my dad bought an alto saxophone home with him one day, and I picked it up, and the first time I played it, I got a sound out of it, so I liked the saxophone. I didn't play tenor saxophone until my father was no longer with us, man. I could never touch his horns because, you know, I know that was his thing, man. I met Miles Davis, Wilbur Ware used to come to our home. Gilly Coggins used to come to our house. He used to talk to Gary Bartz a lot on the phone, George Braith. He used to talk to Jackie McLean and different people. My mother remembered him talking a lot with Cedar Walton, she told me, because my dad knew a lot of these cats. He was like part of the jazz community, but he wasn't recording or playing in the same capacity that he could have been, but he just was not at that time. And yeah, I decided, my mother gave me his saxophones, and I decided at that point, when she said you should take them, that you should play them. And I decided, and it took me a while to transition into tenor, but it wound up becoming more natural because I had listened to a lot of tenor players most of my life anyway, from my dad playing records in the house and the music that I had liked. Definitely the Sonny Rollins, the Coltrane records, Dexter Gordon, those type of things, you know. Sonny Rollins is just an amazing human being, man. He's just an amazing, I mean, it's just like hard to describe, and he gives you information through conversation. You know, it's like to talk to this cat and have like dialogue, and he's relaying information about some of the greatest people in the world. You have to take it like, you just let it come into your mind and you start figuring this stuff out later, because the way he would explain or tell you something, you know it's this is the real truth here. So by his way of explaining things and telling you what to try to eat healthy, make sure you do this, make sure you practice this, live by the golden rule, which is do to others what you want done to you. And when you hear that enough, and you try to be honest with your music, you know, you can't go wrong, because you know you're hearing this from somebody that knows, somebody that's, this is not a game to them. This is a serious way of life. And I'm honored to have had so many great conversations with him about the music, about life, about my parents, about my brothers and sisters, about a lot of different things that you can't engage anybody on a level like that. A conversation, it's like unbelievable. Just knowledge and wisdom that you can decide to live by that way, or you have a choice. You don't. But I found it helped me as a musician, as a person, and to interact out here with what's going on in the world today. It's very, it's monumental for me to have that information, to walk around and know this is the right thing to do. You shouldn't do that. You definitely should do this. You need to do this more. I can't even equate that to what how invaluable that stuff has been for me. Just even the conversation. He's given me some musical information as well, but a lot of the stuff sometimes is just life stuff, and I'm indebted to him for that. Never really saw me play live. He's heard my music though, and at this stage, his health and where he lives, we talked about it, but he can't really get around to do that type of stuff. But he's acknowledged what my ability is. We've had very clear, conscious conversations on what I'm doing and how he feels about my music. He wrote me a letter. I don't have it at hand, but if I could show you the letter, it would speak volumes and say exactly what, coming from him, his handwriting. Hey, I can only just say thank you. Sion recorded with his nephew, who's a very great musician and trombone player, Clifton Anderson, who I have to acknowledge, who gave me an opportunity to record with him with some of the greatest musicians walking around today. Jeff Tain Watts, Kenny Garrett, Wallace Roney, my man Donald Vega, Warren Wolf. We're on a recording together, and I feel very honored to be on that recording with those gentlemen, and Steve Williams. It's a lot of great musicians. Bob Crenshaw, Monty Alexander. I'm on one with him with Al Foster, Christian McBride. Larry Willis. These are names that are mainstay, world-class jazz musicians, and I had the opportunity to play on two of those recordings. I just remember that the crowd was really into the show. He turned his back to the audience, playing his trumpet. Very different kind of cat, man. I mean, I was like 10 years old. But I remember my father trying to go backstage and see him. And the guy told us, you got to get in the back of the line. And my father went to the front of the line. And by the time it took us to walk from the front of the line to almost the back, when the guy said, "Mr. Wyatt, come back," I knew my dad was a bad cat, man, because there was about 15 or 20 people or more in that line. This is at the Bottom Line Jazz Club with albums and, photographs. I looked like they wanted Miles to sign them. But he definitely knew Miles Davis because they brought us into the dressing room. Miles was sitting there with two women on each lap. And each woman had on the same dress, and they had a red rose in their each hand. And I never forgot the visual of that. Never in my mind, never will I forget that, because they were both twins, it looked like. And they both had on the same dress. And they were wearing black dresses, and they both had red roses. So I said, this is a cool brother. This brother here is something else. But I remember him speaking, and it was something like, you like trumpet? You like playing trumpet? Because at that time, I was a trumpet player. So, it was very interesting meeting him and then reading about him through my life, that this was Miles Davis, and this is who he was and what he had accomplished. And I was totally blown away by knowing that my dad actually knew these. I know he had known Sonny Rollins, but even at that point, we didn't know who these guys were. You were supposed to, from my understanding, because this is where I was raised in, you were supposed to develop your own sound, or listen to the masters and find something unique that you can do, that they do, and then enhance it with your own personality. And I almost wish I could say it was something Sonny said to me, but I won't say that because I can't say that at this time. But I was definitely acknowledged as one to always have my own sound, whether it was a Brooklyn sound. If you read the reviews of my record, my latest record on Positone, Borough of Kings, there was a lot made mention of my sound. And I was very proud to see that written, because that is what, you know, I got to go to Malaysia because of a gentleman who saw me playing in a YouTube video. And I found that amazing when the cat told me, this is how I discovered you. Because there's 1 million cats playing on YouTube. I mean, I'm not saying I'm some holier than thou great musician. I play what I play, but he said something about my sound just got to him. But you know, a lot of this stuff is now the DJs, they play guys that sound similar or you can't really detect. I have a few DJs that know me, they say, man, your sound is definitely a little different than what I'm hearing as a tenor player. So I just take that and run with it. I don't know, I'm still working on my sound in my mind. I'm not there. But it was very, very nice to know that this cat told me that, man. I'll never forget. He says, man, your sound, I don't think any other saxophone player sounds like you. And I said, well, I hope they don't, because that way I can work. I have a sound that works for me. It works in the style of what I play, and I utilize it to the best of my abilities.
Dream of a land my soul is from. I hear a hand stroke on a drum. Shades of delight, cocoa hue, rich as the night, Afro blue. Elegant boy, beautiful girl, dancing for joy, delicate world, shades of delight, cocoa hue, rich as the night, Afro blue. Hey! Two young lovers come face to face in angelic grace, gently sway, slip away to some secluded place, shades of delight, cocoa hue, rich as the night, Afro blue. Hey! Whispering trees echo their sigh, passionate plea, tender reply, shades of delight, cocoa hue, rich as the night, Afro blue. Hey! Lovers in flight, up with the glide, burst at the height, slowly subside, shades of delight, cocoa hue, rich as the night, Afro blue. Hey! And my slumbering fantasy includes reality, until it seems it's not a dream. The two are you and me, shades of delight, cocoa hue, rich as the night, Afro blue. Hey! in my slumbering fantasy includes reality until it seems it's not a dream. The two are you and me. Shades of delight, Coco, you, rich as the night, Afro, ye maya, I say su, ye maya, I say su. I say su ye maya olodo, ye maya olodo ye maya. Afro blue. Thank you so very much.